Hey everybody, this is Emmett with the What's Up Solar podcast and owner and founder of SC Power Consulting. Last week, thanks to NABCEP, I was able to attend InterSolar Texas. And at InterSolar Texas, if you're in Texas, then you're going to see EG4. I'm a huge fan of EG4 for several reasons. They make really good products, and I've had the products myself. In addition to that, they're getting into the residential market. What I like about their products is that they are a learning product, which means they have entryways into the market where you don't have to like just bombard your house. You can start small, get an understanding, and build your way up into whole home backups. So John Tostanoski and I chopped it up about their new product. So stay tuned on the What's Up Solar podcast with John Tostanoski and EG4. Let me calm down. I'm with my man John T here. John he's been exceptional at communication, bringing me up to speed on new things that are happening with the brand. And I am so grateful for that I could have an inroad. Here's the one thing that I really liked about EG4 from the beginning and Signature Solar, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and Signature Solar, they made it easy for anyone to adopt solar to, and if you didn't have a background, for you to understand, get the components. They have technical service that'll help you. They have videos. But today we're going to talk about some of the evolution. So I started out with the 3000. But
Yeah.
now you've got these babies here.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
I'm good, Emmett. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, certainly. We've we've grown from being kind of little bitty EG4
Yeah.
and coming from obviously our sister company Signature Solar,
Yeah.
kind of growing as like a house brand
Yeah.
from Signature, and then obviously our founder James has taken it from to becoming a full line OEM.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the things that's unique about EG4 is to throw out a Ric Flair reference. You don't exactly have to be a jet airplane flying, limousine riding,
Yeah.
to get into the EG4 segment.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you started off with a product line that was easily accessible so people could adapt to RVs, they could adapt to off grid, but now you're moving into the market, or you have moved into the market for the residential space and for spaces that are you venturing into commercial as well?
yeah, definitely. There is a roadmap for a commercial three-phase product,
Okay.
looking at like more of the traditional smaller commercial market.
Yeah.
So your 30 kilowatt three-phase inverters and your 60 kilowatt three-phase inverters, servicing both the 208 and the 480 segments of the market.
Okay.
So it's kind of what we're looking at in terms of commercial. Not here today yet, but certainly on the roadmap.
So what do we have back here? We have the EG4 FlexBoss 21.
Yep.
Then we have the GridBoss.
Yes.
Then we have a battery. So
Yeah.
all these tie into one ecosystem together.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what you would consider, or what I would consider, our true whole home backup ecosystem. So you have a 21 kilowatt DC PV input inverter on the FlexBoss 21.
Is this? Oh, can I open this?
Yes, sir.
Keep talking.
And that's how we get our naming system, or our nomenclature, is everything is related to the DC PV input.
Yeah.
Now the continuous output on this unit is going to be 16 kilowatt with PV present.
Okay.
So it does kind of bump you up a little bit from your base of 12 kilowatts. You get an additional 4 kilowatt that you can utilize when you have PV present.
Gotcha.
And so it's a really strong, very powerful inverter.
Yeah.
A little bit different from our previous lineup with like the KPV series. Yeah. You will notice in this unit that the gen port is absent. But there's a reason for that, and that's because we've kind of built everything into our all-in-one MID. I know that we call it an MID, which is a microgrid interconnection device. In more technical terms, really all that is a switch to prevent you from islanding with the grid, right? But and our inverters have an MID already. But what this really does is kind of like a gateway solution. So it has a service rated entrance. So essentially you can pull your utility service directly into the unit. It also has a 125 amp generator port. You have the ability to do load shedding across 4 smart ports. So on smart port 1, you have 125 amps, smart port 2, 80 amps, and then 3 and 4, 60 and 60 amps. And then you can parallel.
That's what I'm looking at. I see here where you have spots for 3 independent inverters.
Yep.
So 3 inverters can be to 1 boss to multiple batteries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the largest size that you can go up safely and with regulatory with this? Can you go up to like 20 or 40 kW? And I've seen some very large installations in Utah.
Yes. Yeah.
Very large. I was like, wow.
It certainly depends on your jurisdiction. Traditionally, most there's different codes, right? And I don't want to get too technical with it.
Don't because of
but
policy.
you have things like NFPA, and you have UL 9540, and then UL 9540A, which is a series of test results. Ultimately, you can scale this theoretically pretty large. A lot of places will limit you to about 80 kilowatt hours of storage.
Yeah.
However, if you're not in an area where that is a restriction, you can parallel up to 16 of our inverters. And on 16 inverters, you can pair up to 5 batteries per inverter. Yeah, so if you do the math, now I will say on our older battery, you could do up to 6 batteries on one inverter. On this one, we're kind of looking at 5, but there is a significant change here. This is actually our newer indoor wall mount battery. So this is our 16 kilowatt indoor wall mount battery.
So I'm noticing here there are these caps.
Yes.
So are the cables, do they come from the factory, or do you have to build them, or is there a specific?
We do make a part for that with Degson Quick Connect connectors, okay. And that would be either what would come in the kit, or if you need to parallel an additional battery beyond one on one inverter, you would use our battery paralleling kit.
Now, are these batteries addressable? So when they are paired to your inverter, it knows battery setup 1, battery setup 2, battery setup 3, so forth and so on.
Absolutely. That's actually one of the big changes to the new 16 kilowatt hour indoor wall mount battery. It is auto addressing.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there's no dip switches. No dip switches on this unit. It is also active balancing. So when you look at battery technology, especially with lithium iron phosphate, the challenge is that the voltage curve is very flat.
Yeah.
And that's just nature, par for the course, if you will, with lithium iron phosphate. While lithium iron phosphate has a lot of pluses, there are some minuses, like issues with balancing. This combats that by essentially taking some voltage from a cell that may be lacking and pulling that, or taking some voltage from a cell that may have a little bit higher voltage and balancing it out with a cell that maybe lacks voltage.
Gotcha. So I see you have a lot of ports on here. You can do CAN bus, you can do RS 485. You have your basic comms.
Yep.
So that's your standard comms that is internal and probably proprietary. But and I also see you got this paralleled up for your positive. So if are you connecting these in series, or is it parallel? And this is for people, because some people don't get it.
Yeah. No, you're paralleling the batteries.
Okay. To a single inverter.
To a single inverter. Okay. Or to multiple inverters. Right. I mean, it depends on what your configuration is.
Now, I see that you have communications on the side. So I see this 2.5G antenna. Does that pair with the inverter and also the boss, or what kind of?
Yeah, so that's gonna actually be a part of your communication across the batteries as well as the inverter.
Okay, so I'm a fan of your rack mount batteries. Are you still continuing with the rack mount hardware?
Yeah, absolutely. We still make our server rack batteries. We have them in a 48 volt, a 24 volt, and a 12 volt configuration.
Why would you go? I like big ones. I like the 48 volt because you get the most current.
Yeah.
You use less current with the higher voltage.
So you'd be surprised, like in a lot of RV or overlanding applications, you might still be using a 12 volt architecture inside of that. You see a lot of like transit vans and stuff like that where they've been outfitted for overlanding.
But they use 12, but they don't use it.
In some cases, they do. There's also various applications, golf cart, marine, a lot of different places where people find a use case for that.
All right. So what else is on the horizon here? You know, I'm just a fan of, and I'm constantly bombarding your website, looking at your gear and planning to install more. So what's on the horizon for 2026?
Yeah, no, Emmett, great question. I think what continues to be on the horizon for us is supporting our core market with great products like our new indoor wall mount battery, so the 16 kilowatt hour unit. But also there are some new things that have changed in the professional installation landscape. So there will be a bigger push. I believe that, and I'll break it down this way. For the people that don't install their own equipment, they're typically using a contractor, right?
Yeah.
So a professional solar installer. Many professional solar installers need to provide a financial package to the homeowner for their services. A lot of people are still going to leverage the cash and loan option, but there will be a bigger push towards what's called third-party ownership. And for you to be able to qualify for some of these third-party ownership options, you must have what's called essentially a domestic content product. Yeah.
Speak on it, sir.
So we are coming out with a domestic content product. You may have seen in the news that there is a strategic partnership that we launched with LG Energy Solutions. So we will be bringing the LG cell will be manufactured in Michigan, and then
Go Wolverines.
Go Wolverines. I used to live in Michigan myself. Didn't go to school there, but I don't think they would let me in there. But essentially, it's going to be manufactured in Michigan, transported to our assembly plant in Commerce, Texas. And then we will put the cell pack together, the case, manufacture the battery unit, and it will be considered a fully domestic content product.
Awesome.
And we will release that into the market around the May to June timeframe of 2026. And then we're going to have a inverter that goes along with it. One very unique piece of that architecture
that'll be part of the domestic content. Right?
Yes, and a unique piece of that architecture is that it's actually 100-volt architecture.
Cool.
So it is a little bit of a departure from the traditional 48-volt stuff that we typically power our homes with.
That allows you to have much smaller cabling between things when your voltage is that high.
Yeah, so basic electrical theory, right?
Yeah.
When you are able to increase your voltage, you're increasing your electrical pressure, right? And that means that you can get things done a lot more quickly. So your charge rates will improve as well as discharge rates, right? So the ability to service the load center is going to get better, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be support for the 48-volt stuff. We're going to continue to go forward with it. It's still the mainstay in the industry, and we're going to be there for it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with me, because I'm just, I've said it before, I'm a fan. And here's the other thing too. I knew this was going to happen, or something was going to happen, because I'm in their home ground, Texas. So if you want to find out more, where can they find out more information?
Yeah, definitely. EG4electronics.com, YouTube, EG4 Electronics YouTube. But I'd say follow us on social media. But I would say we want to have you on our show next time.
Hey, you know how to find me. Just let me know.
You got it, Emmett.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, this is Emmett in the What's Up Solar podcast here at InterSolar Texas 2025. And until next time, remember, there's one thing to sell on here.